Alright, my name is Trevor Sims. This is for my 2015 book talk outline. Book talk. Anyways, the book I read was Son of the Mob 1. It's a book that's genre is based off of love and action, is what I'm going to call it for you. The author of the book, Son of the Mob, is Vince Luca. He's a Canadian. He wrote Son of the Mob 2 as well, and that's called Hollywood Hustle. And if you'd like to read the first one, I'd recommend reading the second one as well. Overall, great book. I recommend it to anyone that loves solving problems with some serious thinking, maybe is good at relationships, or likes to read action movies, watch action movies, or read action books. Anyways, the book started off at Jefferson High School, where Vince Luca was a senior in high school. He met a girl named Kendra, and he decided he really liked the girl, and Vince's brother was always like against girls and dating, so Vince was trying to keep it to himself as much as he could. So the first time that Vince asked Kendra to go out, they went to Bryce's Beach after going to dinner. It was a little chilly on the beach from the lake breeze, but Vince was trying to do everything he could to make Kendra like him. So they were on the beach on a walk, and Vince was walking with Kendra, and Kendra wanted a blanket. So Kendra walks with Vince to the car, where Vince then realizes that there's a dead body in the back of the car. At this point, Kendra flips out and doesn't know what to do. In the back of Vince's head, though, little spoiler alert for you, Vince's dad is the head of the mob, and Kendra's dad is the head of the FBI, who is currently looking for Vince's dad. So it just goes on and on throughout the book. It's just really cool how they do it. But so when this happens, they have to go through a traffic stop where they search the cars and whatnot because it's throughout the border. Basically Vince just dashes through it. It's kind of like a car chase with Kendra in the car. Just horrible date night is what I would consider it. Basically kind of funny. But overall, after this, things kind of escalate to where Vince, being a child, son of the mob leader, Vince doesn't want any part to do with the mob, so he wants to stay clean. He wants to be the good kid. He wants to be the one that goes to heaven, whatnot. Basically everything that he says in the book just really doesn't want any part to do with the mob. And his dad works for a vending machine business, which is just a cover for his serious business. But what happens out through the book is that Kendra and Vince start to really like each other. But Vince's dad is still doing these crimes, still robbing, still stealing, and Kendra's dad is looking for him. Kendra now knows that Vince's dad is the head of the mob, and Kendra's kind of scared about it. Throughout the book, unfortunately, Kendra's dad finds out about Vince and Vince's dad and forces Kendra to break up with Vince. It's kind of the worst situation you can do, basically. But Kendra breaks up with him and then is forced to never talk to him again. But Vince does something that no other kid would really do. He steps up and goes to a big meeting in the big city, about an hour and a half away from his hometown, and represents his dad in the mob. And when he gets to the meeting, he cancels everything about the mob. He cancels all the actions, so that way there's nothing else, no current action going on or current crimes going on with the mob. So he stops it all. Basically just one of those really good things, great things. And when Kendra's dad finds out who was the head of the FBI, he finds out that Vince did this. he gives Vince a certificate and also lets them go back on a date to kind of redo their first night, which is what I thought was really kind of cool. So in the beginning of the book, they had a horrible day, and they're basically going to rerun that day in the end of the book, which is very cool. That's how that book ends, by the way. But in this book, basically, protagonist is kind of Kendra's dad. He does a lot of good things for both of them. The supporting characters are Kendra and Alex. They support Alex is Vince's brother. They kind of support Vince through all of these decisions. And Vince's dad is the antagonist, definitely. Just because he's always there and he's always blocking in the way of something, just because crimes and whatnot. But the setting and time is just Jefferson High School, Bryce's Beach, and also the fraternity house where Vince did some of his partying, where he kind of got away from the family a little bit, took his mind off all the crimes and whatnot. I picked a theme that you aren't always made to be what your parents wanted you to be. So you aren't always what your parents make you out to be, basically. This is kind of showing that Vince didn't want to do anything bad in his life. He wanted to do the right thing, but there was family members in the way, struggles in the way, which is why anyone that should read this book that has kind of maybe a difficulty and problems at home or whatnot, this is just kind of a good, motivation, I guess, for anything, math test, whatever. But other than that, some symbolism for you. Vince's dad drives a Cadillac, tinted out windows, high rims, chromed out rims. Just kind of a standard mobster is what I consider it of. Some parts that I laughed was when Vince Luca tries to take Kendra out to the beach for the date, and the body's in the back. That'd be like the worst date ever, I swear. So that's kind of funny. Other than that, some text to world for it, because I don't really have much text to text. Unfortunately, my dad's not the head of the mobsters. So, but many people have great relationships with many hard obstacles. So some people out there might have a great marriage, but there might be some obstacles through it, but you got to go through it. So that's kind of just one of those text to world things. The author's writing style is kind of smooth and romantic. At some parts they're kind of sharp just because of the crime and whatnot that his dad displays. But other than that, some imagery from the book. The frat house, I kind of imaged it as like very dirty outside, but there's a lot of cute girls inside, and just a lot of fun stuff to do inside. Is what Vince explained it to me, and anyone else that reads the book in it. But other than that, my book was Son of the Mob by Gordon Korman, and I recommend it to anyone that really wants a good read. And other than that, Happy New Year, and good luck to all.